Hello, it's Richard Daniel Curtis here, founder of the Mentoring School, and today I just want to share a little bit more content with you from the National Apprentice Mentoring Qualification. And today I want to tell you a bit about something called the Mentor's Mantra. And this is a way that we help our mentors to structure a difficult conversation or a reflective conversation or a listening conversation. And it can be used with people when they're having workplace difficulties, it can be used with people when they're having social difficulties, it can be used with people who have experienced loss or trauma or grief. It can be used in a variety of different situations. And it's a very simple 4 steps to the conversation. Now, the first thing we always say is that paramount to any kind of supportive conversation that you are going to have with someone, you need to make them feel safe. So step number 1, make them feel safe. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to find somewhere that's confidential, somewhere where you're not going to be interrupted, somewhere where actually, you can sit down and know that, you've got this room for the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and no one's going to come barging in. You want to make the person feel safe in themselves. Maybe actually, often what we'll do is we'll engage in some kind of social small talk in order to make someone feel comfortable. It could be, if you're going to talk about someone's work or something like that, actually, rather than focus on the conversation, what you'll do is you'll focus on the task. If they're behind in their project work, for example, maybe what you're going to do is you're going to say, why don't we look at your project work, or why don't we sit down and do some of your project work together? And so rather than being a face-to-face conversation, what you're then doing is you're shifting the focus onto something else. You're doing an activity together. That can be, for some people, a way of making them feel safe. Maybe you're going to offer them a drink or refreshments of some kind to make them feel safe. But it's really important that you start any kind of mentoring conversation by making the person feel safe. Now, step number 2 is about making the person feel all right and safe enough to think about whatever the problem is. So step number 2 is it's all right to think about it. And here what we're going to do is we, as a mentor, are going to use silence. It's really important. Maybe you're going to ask the apprentice or the person you're mentoring, how are they getting on? How are they getting on with Janine? How are they getting on with their project? How's their coursework going? And then it's really important that as a mentor, you then become silent. That you let them own that silence and let them fill it. Very often as humans, we are really, really insistent on filling space. We don't naturally like silence, and so when we're having a conversation with someone and they don't say anything, we start to try and suggest things that they might be thinking. We try to help them out, but actually, in terms of what's happening in the brain, what you need to do is you need to be silent, and you need to be comfortable with that silence. You need to make sure that actually it's their silence to own, so that they are the person that speaks. The third step is, once you've made it all right for the person to think about it, what will naturally happen is they will start to talk about it. So the third step is it's all right to talk about it. Whatever the difficulty is, whatever the problem is, whatever their view is of their current situation, whatever the topic is, whatever the question you ask them is, what you'll find is that give them enough silence, they will actually naturally start to talk about it. It may be that initially, particularly if it's something traumatic, if it's something that's emotional, something that's quite raw, that initially it will be random words, random phrases while they try and sort their thoughts out. However, if you, as a mentor, give them enough silence, what you'll find is that actually they start to open up, they start to make their sentences, they start to ask questions of you, which then enable you to engage in the conversation, enable you to provide the support that's what you're trying to achieve. And so can you see how important it is that actually, in order to fulfill our mentoring role, we need to have made them safe so that we let them think about their problems. We let them talk about their problems, that we listen. And that naturally, again, brings us on to our 4th step. Let's make a plan. And so, here, and the final step of the mentor's mantra, you've let the silence grow. You've let them talk through whatever they want to say. And here you're going to enter into the conversation. Here you're going to enter into a dialogue. And you're searching for a solution. You're searching for a plan to help that person move forward. Maybe it's going to be stuff that they go away and do themselves. So maybe it's going to be sort of almost like a coaching outcome. Or maybe it's going to be things that you do together. Maybe it's going to be some further support that you're going to offer. Maybe it's going to be offering, to text them or to email them or to touch base with them every so often, for example. However, this is the fourth stage, is where you are going to agree how you're going to help them to move forward and how they're going to move forward. And so when you're working as a mentor, it's really important that you understand the theory behind the mentor's mantra and how easy it is to enable those difficult conversations to happen. Alright guys, now if you found that interesting and you want to find out more about what you can do to get the most out of your apprentices, then please head on over to our website at www.thementoringschool.com/apprentice. I will see you soon guys, bye bye.